you ever looked at a parent and suddenly realized with a jolt that they're getting older? It's a terrifying, almost universal milestone. Indian English poet Kamala built her career on moments exactly like this. She is celebrated for her confessional style, where she brings entirely private, domestic female experiences into the realm of serious literature. Her famous poem, My Mother at 66, opens on a Friday morning in South India. A daughter is driving her aging mother from their traditional family home to the Cochin airport. The text is written as a single 12-line sentence with no full stops. The grammar itself mirrors the physical car ride, a continuous forward motion, while tracking the cascading flow of the daughter's anxious thoughts. This breathless structure means that as the car moves towards the terminal, the speaker's internal narrative begins to track a second parallel journey into the fear of loss. Inside the car, the daughter glances over. Her mother is dozing beside her, mouth slightly open, a pose that reveals a complete loss of daytime muscular tension. Looking at her mother's gray, drained face, the speaker reaches for a harsh comparison. She describes it as ashen like that of a corpse. This simile forces a sudden awareness of her mother's mortality. Das uses enjambment, a poetic device where a sentence continues across a line break, to emphasize this shock. Notice how the word pain is isolated on its own line. It mimics the physical sensation of a sudden emotional stab. This realization suggests the daughter has been carrying an outdated mental image of her mother. Now the physical evidence in the passenger seat has violently collided with that memory. The corpse simile functions as a psychological pivot. It shatters the daughter's internal denial and forces her to confront her mother's approaching end. Overwhelmed by this realization, the speaker actively chooses to put that thought away. She redirects her vision out the car window, attempting to find a mental escape in the world outside. Outside, she sees what she calls young trees sprinting. Because the car is moving fast, the relative motion makes the trees appear to be running. This personification captures the speed and fleeting nature of youth. She also notices merry children spilling out of their homes. Das uses the word spilling, a verb normally used for liquids, to describe a vitality that seems to burst uncontrollably from its source. The contrast is stark. Inside the car, there is decay, stillness, and silent anxiety. Outside, there is youth, rapid motion, and the energy of life just beginning. These sprinting trees and spilling children serve as a desperate psychological escape route. However, even this vibrant external motion fails to resolve the speaker's internal dread. The journey reaches the airport security check. The speaker notes she is now standing a few yards away from her mother, a distance that prefigures both the geographic separation of the flight and the permanent separation of death. Looking back at her mother, she uses a final simile, comparing her to a late winter's moon. In literature, winter symbolizes the end of a cycle. This pale, dim moon captures her fading vitality as she enters the final phase of her life. Seeing this pale face brings back an old familiar ache. This is the universal childhood fear, the deep-seated terror of eventually losing a parent. But instead of voicing this terror, she hides it. The poem closes with the parting words, "See you soon, Amma," and the repetition of smile and smile and smile. This forced repetition suggests a desperate effort to suppress her own fear. The poem ends without resolution. The daughter constructs a mask, hiding her private, devastating wound behind a casual, public goodbye. The entire poem operates on a thematic tension between the transient, things that change and fade, and the enduring, things that stay. For your exams, look for these dualities. On the transient side, we have the mother's aging body and the sprinting trees. On the enduring side, we find the daughter's lifelong childhood fear and her love for her mother. A reliable way to structure a long-form essay is to follow the three-image triad. By analyzing the ashen face, the sprinting trees, and the final smile in sequence, you can effectively map the poem's entire emotional arc. When identifying figures of speech, follow the device plus quote plus effect formula. For instance, cite the repetition of the word smile
and explain how it emphasizes the daughter's attempt to hide her grief. Kamala Das's work remains central to the syllabus because she gives a voice to a terrifying, universal milestone. She shows that often the bravest thing a daughter can do is smile for her mother while she is deeply afraid.